boys and girls. Today we are going to be working on lesson 9.4. This is chapter 9, and we're going to be looking at line graphs today. This is on page 401. Again, page 401. So we're going to be looking again line graphs. So we're going to write our objective. Let's change color. And of course, remember, write it at the top. The objective of this lesson is we will analyze and display data in a line graph. So the new thing here is a line graph, and that's pretty much a new vocabulary word. What is a line graph? A line graph is a graph that uses line segments to show how data changes over time. The series of numbers placed at fixed distances that label the graph are the graph scale. So we're going to be looking at that. What is the scale? The intervals or difference between the values on the scale should be equal. That, in other words, when you make a graph, you have to make the numbers on the bottom to be spread out evenly or equally. So we'll be looking at that in a minute. Let's look at this point first. Here it says, graph the data. Use the graph to determine the times between which the greatest temperature change occurred. So what we have to do here, or our first step, let's read our table. So the table helps us organize information. So here it says recorded temperatures. This is a table that tells us the time on the x-axis on the first row. Okay, so we're going to be naming this or using this to put this in our x-axis. This will be our x coordinates. And then the second one is giving us information about temperature. Okay, so at 1 a.m., because it tells us that it's a.m., the temperatures in Fahrenheit was 51. And so what we're going to do here is we're going to write the related number pairs of data as order pairs. So this is from yesterday's lesson. We're going to write this as an order pair. So on the first one, it's 1 o'clock. We have 51 as a temperature. Now let's do our second one. So our second piece of information or order pair would be X would be the top number, okay, the top row, and Y the second. So in this case, it would be, let's write it neatly here, 2 colon 00 for 2 o'clock, and the Y axis or the Y coordinate would be 49. So every time we do a order pair, remember we put it in parentheses and we separate them with a comma. So we did the second one. Now we're going to do the third one, which is a 3 in the x-axis or coordinate, and then on the Y coordinate we have a 47. And we continue doing that until we have all of our coordinate pairs, ordered pairs. So we did 3. Now we're going to do 4. So at 4 a.m., we had a temperature of 44 degrees Fahrenheit. Notice how I'm telling you what each point or each number, what it's telling us. Remember that the top is telling us the time and the second row is telling us the temperature. So now at 5 o'clock, at 5 in the morning, the temperature is 45 degrees Fahrenheit. At 6 o'clock in the morning, the temperature in degrees Fahrenheit is 44. And then we have here, the last one is at 7 o'clock, 7 in the morning, the temperature is 46 degrees Fahrenheit. So we just wrote all of our data, we put it in order pairs. That's the first step. Okay, so when you're going to graph from a table into a graph line or a coordinate plane, you need to write them in order pairs. So now let's go to step number 1. We already wrote all of your information in order pairs. Step number 1, for the vertical axis, okay, vertical means up and down, so that's the y-axis. Choose a scale and an interval that are appropriate for the data. you can show a break in the scale between 0 and 40 since there are no temperatures between 0 and 44. So what does that mean? Okay, so when I'm doing a graph, if you see here, I need to go um, from 0 to the biggest or a little bit more than our biggest number. So if you see here, as far as time, we are going from 1 to 7. So here in the x-axis, remember that the x-axis is the one going from side to side. That's the horizontal line. That's the one going from west to east. So that line that goes across like that horizontally, it's the x-axis. And so if you look at your x-axis, we're recording time. So it's important that we label our graph. And so we labeled it time, AM. Now we're going to write see how we're going actually evenly 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So that fits perfect for our graph, because when you go between intervals on the scale, you want to go evenly. So in this case, we're going to do go even in hour from hour to hour. So we're going to write 1 2, well, they already wrote for us, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So we have our time spread out evenly. Now we need to notice how they wrote the temperature. We are going from, our highest here is 51. So we have to go up to 51, and our smallest one is 44. So what they did here, they wrote a break. Um, so um, so we can show a break, and they put us this symbol here to show the break. That means because we don't have any data for those numbers, so we just um, put a break to symbolize that. And then it starts at 40. See, our smallest number is 44. And so what they're doing is just starting at a even number, 40, and then going up by twos. 40, 42, 44, 46, 48, 50, 52, and 54. And that is reasonable. So make sure that when it's your turn to record something or make a table, that you use reasonable data, or you write a scale, or you spread out your numbers so that you have enough to graph your information, but also that it's going evenly, um, either by twos, by threes, by four, by fives, whatever works out better. And if you notice here now, we are ready to record our information. So and notice also, before we continue, that the y-axis also has its label, temperatures, and we have here temperatures in degree Fahrenheit. And also notice the recorded temperatures, that our graph also has recorded temperatures, the title of the information. Now we're going to go ahead and graph this. And we're going to do this with green. So here we have 1 and 51. So at 1, it was 51. So 51 would be in the middle of 50 and 52. That's why the dot is right in the middle of those two numbers. And it's graphed, just like we learned yesterday. Then at 2 o'clock, it was 49. So that means at 2, it's 2 in the x-axis, and then we go up and we stop at 49. 49 is between 48 and 50. So that goes in between those two lines. Then we go with 3, and 3 stops at 47. So that's between 46 and 48. Then at 4 o'clock, we have 44. So that means we go 4, we start on 4 on the x-axis, and then we go up and we stop on the y at 44. And that's where we will draw our little point circle. Then we continue to the next one, number 5. At 5 o'clock, we had 45. So 45, if we look at our scale here on the y coordinate, 45 would be between 44 and 46. So we have to line that up. So 5 and 45. Okay, 5 and 45. And then at 6, it was 44. So at 6, we go 6 on the x. No, the point doesn't go there, though. Okay, so at 6, okay, the coordinate needs to be at 44. So we put it at 44. Okay, 6, 44. And then at 7, it went to 46. So I start on the x-axis with 7, and then I go all the way to 46. Now I'm just going to connect the lines in that order. So I go, let me use the line tool so it's looks beautiful. That's so now I'm just connecting the lines. And there I have my graph. They need to connect. That one doesn't connect. Let's do it again. From point to point. And there we completed our line graph. Okay, so now it says look at each line segment in the graph. Find the line segment that shows the greatest change. So the question was asking us which one shows the greatest change. The greatest change would appear where you see, that there's a greater angle from point to point. So in this case, we could see here from 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock, the line actually drops the most. Here, it only drops a little bit up and then a little bit down and then a little bit up. But at from between 3 and 4 o'clock, it goes down the most. So that means that the greatest temperature change occurred between 3 in the morning, 3 a.m., and 4 a.m. Okay, that's for this problem. All right. All right. So here, let's look at the next page and we're going to try it. Let's read the scenario here. So we have Jill used a rain gauge to collect data on the total rainfall during 6 days at her home in Miami. She read the amount of rain collected in the rain gauge each day and did not pour it out. Her data is shown in the table. Make a line graph to display Jill's data. So here is, her data. She put it in a table, and we will be practicing collecting data for homework too this week. So here we have rainfall collected. And so we have the day, which is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And then rainfall in inches. So on Monday, basically, she read the gauge and it said 2 inches of rainfall. On Tuesday, it said 2. On Wednesday, it said 3. On Thursday, it said 6. On Friday, 8. And Saturday, 8. Okay, so what our first step, if you remember from the previous example, we are going to write these in coordinate points. Okay, so this one's a little different because our first column has words instead of numbers. But what we're going to do is that we're going to write those days on our order pair. So our x-axis in this case will be the first column, okay, for the days, and the y-axis will be the second column, which is the rainfall in inches. So here the first one has been written for us. We have Monday, okay, we have 2. Then on Tuesday, so we're going to write the Tuesday, just the abbreviation. Tuesday, we have 2. So Tuesday is the x coordinate and the y coordinate is the number 2 because that's how much rainfall there was. Then on Wednesday, okay, we put the x coordinate as Wednesday and then the y coordinate is 3. Then we have Thursday. Just Thursday, we had 6. So we're going to write 6 here. And then we have Friday, we had 8. And then Saturday, 9. So now we have our information. And what we want to do now is we want to choose a scale. You want to choose a scale and an interval for the data. So basically, what we want to do is we want to determine how we're going to display this in a table, in a graph, a line graph. So definitely, in one side I will have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. That's because, and these are in intervals of days of the week, right? One apart, one for each day. So that works. And then for the rain, because I'm going from 2 to 9, I think it's okay for me to do 1 through 10 in my opposite side. So I'm now going to go ahead and make my graph, and I'm going to label my graph. So the first step is to actually draw the lines to make the graph. So remember, we have the y-axis, and then we have a um, x-axis, and then a y-axis. And then my next step is to label it, right? So first, down here, I'm going to label what is it that I'm going to put here under. Will I put the day or the rainfall? Because this information, um, or how you put what is X or what is Y, really doesn't affect it much. But because my X is actually, um, what do you call it? Or the first information here is actually days of the week, I'm going to choose to put it on the X axis. So that way, you don't have to read sideways. Okay. So that's a reason why I'm going to do that. So here I'm going to put Monday. Okay. And I'm going to draw a little line, and I'm going to separate these every two, I think. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And I'm going to move this around. So if it's, so I have Tuesday, and then we'll have Wednesday. And you should be doing this in your paper, right? I hope you guys are. Thursday, and then I have Friday, and then I have Saturday. Okay, and now I'm going to go ahead and label this part. So here I'm putting the day, right, of the week. And now I'm going to do the next part. And in this side, I'm going to put the rainfall. And if you look up here, it's a rainfall in inches. So I'm going to put rainfall in parentheses inches. And I need to actually turn this over to the side, which with this program, I'm not sure if I can. So if you guys figure it out, maybe you can tell me how you, I'm trying to turn it. But for now, we'll just put it here, okay, on this side. Because usually in other programs, there's a little icon here. For this one, oh, maybe if I do this. Nope. Okay, I tried. Okay, yeah, it didn't work. Oh, there you go. I think I can do it here. Rotate clockwise. Ah, ha, ha. No, it moves the whole. Okay, all right. So I couldn't do it here. Maybe like I said, if you guys know how to do it, share that with me, because Ms. Maldonado doesn't know how to do this in Cami. All right. So this is rainfall in inches on this side. And now we're going to label with numbers. So like I said earlier, I want to do this going 1 through 10. So that'll be 0, 1. We have to include 0 though, because 0 is the first point, right? The corner of the graph. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And so then you have to label that here. So we have 0, 1, 2, and this takes a little bit of time in Cami. Easier in your books, right? 3, So that way you guys don't fall behind, I guess. 4, 5, then 6, then 7, then 8, then 9, then 10. Okay, so we have 0 to 10. Now I'm ready to graph it. So I look at the information. Monday is 2, so I put a point on 2. Then Tuesday is 2, Tuesday 2 again. Then we have Wednesday 3. Okay, Wednesday and then 3. And then we have Thursday 6. Then Friday 8. And then finally Saturday 9. Okay, so 9 is here. And now we're going to connect with the line. We go like this. We connect all the dots, all the points. All right, and that is our graph. So we completed, we labeled it. Oh, but we did forget something, right? The title of the graph. And so the title is usually a little bit bigger, and we name it like the table. So this is rainfall collected. That title goes capitalized in English. When we write in English, we capitalize the titles, both words. And I'm going to make it go to 30. So it's a nice title there. And I created my graph. So on which days was the total rainfall recorded the greatest? So we see that on Saturday, it was the greatest recorded, right, information. Greatest rainfall recorded. So that will be Saturday. And then we could see here that it says, on which day did Jill record the greatest increase in rainfall collected? So when we're talking about greatest increase, meaning like when did it go up the highest or the more? So when it's the highest, you will see a more steeper going up more drastically. So if you see here, from here to here, it actually goes up 2 points. Whereas from Wednesday through Thursday, it goes 1, 2, 3 up, right? So it would be Thursday, right? The date that it goes up the most. So that the greatest increase was on Thursday, because that's when it goes from Wednesday to Thursday. It climbs up. The line is a little steeper. Okay, great. So you will be doing the next problem on the after for the PowerPoint, and then in class we will work on the on your own part. I'm sorry. All right. Okay, that is it for